Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to set forth exactly why we do reliability-centered maintenance. Last year, I was on my way to Cairo, Egypt to present at a conference, and I was in Huntsville, Alabama at the airport at the gate. It was going to be my first of 3 legs. And while I was sitting there, I heard on the intercom, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be delayed due to maintenance. It is not an announcement that you want to hear when you're at the airport, especially because it's my first of 3 legs. So if I miss my second connection, my whole itinerary is going to be messed up. Now, before I even had a chance to get too anxious about it, they came back over and made an announcement that said, ladies and gentlemen, we got it all sorted out and we're going to board soon. So we were on the plane, and the pilot made an announcement before we took off, and he said, sorry folks for the delay. We're going to be taking off in just about 15 minutes. The problem we had is that our APU, our auxiliary power unit, is failed, but we don't need it to fly safely, so we're going to carry on. When I got off the airplane, I was waiting on the jetway and for my gate-checked bag, and the pilot came out, and he said to the crew member that was standing there, he said, hey, can you give me an air start on number 2, and then I'll cross-bleed to number 1. That is when I realized the pilot was practicing the essence of reliability-centered maintenance, which is managing the consequences of failure. See, we don't need the auxiliary power unit to fly safely, but we do need it to start the engines. But the pilot managed the consequences of failure by asking the crew member to use ground support equipment, an air start unit, to start the number 2 engine, and then from there he could cross-bleed from engine number 2 and start engine number 1. See, as physical asset managers, we are not in the business of preventing all failures. We are in the business of managing the consequences of failure. Now let's look at how we do that with reliability-centered maintenance. When we do RCM, in the first step we identify functions, which is we specifically identify what we need our equipment to do. We write failure modes, or in other words, we write specifically what would cause each functional failure. We write a failure effect for each failure mode. A failure effect is a short story of what would happen if we did nothing to predict or prevent the failure mode. And in that way, that allows us to manage the consequences of failure. So in this case with the APU, the consequences were non-operational, so we could carry on. But you see, without a detailed analysis of each one of your plausible failure modes, you wouldn't be able to know that. So it's kind of like this. With reliability-centered maintenance, it gets you organized. You organize your failure modes and your failure consequences, so then you can use steps 6 and 7 to identify how to manage each failure mode. Should you do proactive maintenance or use some sort of a default strategy like no scheduled maintenance? No scheduled maintenance is a plausible failure management strategy for some failure modes, namely a specific failure mode for the auxiliary power unit. So there you have it. The essence of reliability-centered maintenance, as my mentor John Mowbray taught us, is to manage the consequences of failure. I'm Nancy Regan. Thank you for watching.